Hi everybody. I wanted to do a little exercise where I do a little practice with intuitive faces. I'm not really big on doing intuitive faces because I tend to get more realism when I use a reference photo. And that just has to do with my own personal goals and kind of the direction I'm going with what I do. But it can be fun at the same time and a good exercise for me to practice doing a face without looking at a reference photo. Or just look at a reference photo real quickly and kind of try and figure out, okay, how does that face look? How can I reinterpret this over here without staring at that the whole time? So what I like to do, you don't need a blending stump. You can use your finger or you could use a Q-tip. My fingers are filthy right now from paint. And I've got just a regular, this is a Blackwing pencil. It smears more than a normal, like a school 2B school pencil. So it's good for smearing. And these are some Cretacolor graphite, woodless graphite pencils that I just happen to have, and they have different hardnesses, so I picked a 6B and an 8B because they smear nicely. And when I'm doing intuitive faces, I like to play around with smearing and blending it a little bit for my values and whatnot. If I'm thinking, oh, I want to get kind of a cool face with this expression, and this is just a selfie. I like using selfies because I can pick what expression I'm going to do, and I can pick the angles and things. So if I just want to look at that briefly and then turn it off and move it away from myself. And I'm going to take my 6B, I think. And these you don't have to use any special tools, just any graphite you have around or inexpensive. You can go to a store and most variety stores have some kind of different hardnesses of pencil. And you can also use charcoal, anything that will smudge. So I'm just going to start by kind of blocking in an eye socket, and I may change this as I go. I'm not going to hold myself to anything because I want this to be imaginative. I'm just going to start darkening in some eye sockets and then try and put a little bit of darker in where the eyes would go. And I'm just using my finger at this point, but I could. The smudge sticks work really well, much better than my fingers. Oh, and I probably should mention that an eraser would be a good idea. I happen to have just this black eraser laying around here. But I've got stick erasers. There are like specialty erasers that are really tiny, that are great for erasing small areas. But I have the corner of this, so that should work pretty nicely. So if I want the eyes to be looking up toward the sky, then I would put some whites in here. And the nose would be upturned if the face is tilted back, I think. That's how I'll do it. And I could pick a light source if I wanted, just to keep in mind. Maybe I'll have the light coming from that way, going like that. And I just kind of start to smear and rub and put in marks and just see where it leads me. I want to make, you know, funky hair. And frankly, I think I don't do this enough. I don't play around with just my imagination enough. I'm always so focused on trying to improve my portraiture skills that I don't take as much time to just be inventive and fun and create creatures or characters. So this is a great exercise for me to do. Just like I sit down, right now I've developed this habit. I've been on it for I think 38 days now, where while I'm watching TV in the evening, I sketch a face from a reference. Usually I just take a picture of somebody on the TV with my phone, and then I sit down and I sketch them with graphite. And I use 2 different hardnesses and a tiny Tombow eraser. And it's really helping me improve my accuracy skills. And it takes me, you know, hour and a half to do it. But I can do it lying down, resting my back from the day. And so maybe I should also have a period, maybe in the mornings, I could make a little exercise to, you know, just spend maybe even just a half an hour coming up with, you know, just creating some kind of funny face or character and playing with my smudge sticks and that kind of thing. So you can also just take a paper towel and twist it up, or use a cloth. I'm really into trying to get people to use, or, you know, I want to start exploring different ways to make art with inexpensive everyday materials that you can easily find lying around the house. Oh, I guess I have an eraser on the back of this that I can use to put in. Erasers, when I was in school, and I didn't finish my art degree, but I did it for 2.5 years, and one of the big things was not using erasers. And I get that concept, that you don't want to be so preoccupied with doing something perfect that you're constantly erasing it. But the way I see it is that an eraser is a tool just like my pencil, and what I'm using the eraser for is to create highlights and to reshape areas, and occasionally to take out something that I don't like or that I feel like doesn't look right. I'm making this mouth kind of an O mouth, but her eyes don't really match what the mouth is doing. I think the eyebrow should be up here higher if she's going to be doing O mouth. Anyway, so I like to think of my eraser like that, as it's a tool for lighter values. And so I'm going to put more shadow over here because of the light, where the light's coming from. And even leaving some it's nice to have I like to use soft paint brushes to brush away my bits. Maybe I'll make the mouth go like this more. Tilted down. I'm just taking what I know about the values and shapes of a face and just trying to wing it. Wing it instead of being, you know, so it, you know, it doesn't look as realistic. But then, you know, I don't think most of my paintings look very realistic anyway, even when I use a reference photo. I just feel like I get a little more accurate. And just using, and I don't want to get, I want it to be loose, and I don't want every little detail in. I want it to be a little smeary. Little clues of something, but it's kind of hidden and mysterious a little bit. A little bit of highlight in the eyes. Using a light touch. These are just, I think I got these ones at Walmart. Can't remember, but they sell these stumps everywhere. They're pretty inexpensive. Like so often other things can be used, but sometimes certain tools are so much more helpful, easy to use. Of course, I think anything can be adapted. I mean, you can get used to using, if you perfect using a Q-tip, then, you know, you don't have to buy a stump. I don't think I didn't used to give things like that a chance, because I always wanted to, you know, buy the special thing. Then I have to decide when she's done, how far do I want to take it? I zoom in on her a little bit. Oops. Sorry about that. I'm trying to find my zoom button and I'm not hitting it very well. There we go. So I think I'm going to leave her like that. She's kind of fun. Got a little squiggly, I got some squiggly lines in there and some dark tones and some light and some eraser marks, and she's not, her face isn't complete, so I like that. That's kind of cool. So it's a fun exercise for playing with your imagination and some graphite. So thanks for being here. You have a great day.